So I've been thinking about inventing a new sport, from scratch pretty much. And I'm hoping that it will be interesting to people and it will take off as a new sport and then eventually get into the Olympics or whatever. And I'm gonna call it, the first one I thought of, I'm gonna call it wrestleball. Wrestleball. Wrestle like wrestling. So wrestleball. And what it is two guys and they're underneath a basketball hoop. So you've got a basketball ring up above in the sky, and you've got two guys. One guy has got a basketball, and the other guy has got nothing. So one guy is the attacker, and one guy is the defender. Now, underneath the basketball hoop is a circle drawn on the ground. Fairly big, maybe this sort of size. And the defender has to stay in that circle. He can't leave that circle. So it's under the hoop, it's a big circle, and he has to stay inside that circle as he defends the hoop. The attacker wants to get the ball into the hoop, but he has to throw the ball into the hoop, but from inside the circle that's been drawn on the ground underneath the hoop. So he can't throw the ball into the net until he's got into the circle under the ground. So the defender is inside the circle, and he's trying to stop the attacker from coming into the circle and then being able to throw the ball into the net. So the defender wants to stop and wrestle the attacker and stop him coming into the circle. The rule is that the defender can only grab the ball. He can only grab the ball. He can shove the attacker with his hands or whatever, but he's only allowed to grab hold of the ball. He can't grab the attacker. He can only push the attacker and then he can try and grab the ball. So that's what the defender does. He can only go for the ball. The attacker can only throw the ball into the hoop when he gets inside the circle. So he's not allowed to jump. Both his feet must stay on the ground all the time. And when he attacks the goal, he has to be inside the circle, and then he can release the ball up into the sky. So I hope that's clear for now. The attacker wants to get inside the circle and then throw the ball into the net. The defender wants to stop the attacker being able to throw the ball into the net. So he wants to try and stop the attacker coming into the circle, and then he wants to stop the attacker from releasing the ball if he does get into the circle. So the attacker's coming forward with the ball, trying to get into the circle so that he can throw the ball into the net. The defender is trying to stop the attacker coming into the circle, and then if the attacker does get into the circle, the defender wants to stop the attacker being able to throw the ball into the net. So I hope that's clear. Attacker and defender. Attacker's trying to get in the circle and throw the ball into the net. Defender's trying to stop the attacker coming into the circle and stop him from throwing the ball into the net. The attacker is not allowed to come off the ground. He has to stay on the ground. He can't jump. The defender can't grab the attacker. He's only allowed to grab the ball. He can push to the attacker, but he can't grab hold of the attacker. So I'm thinking, as the first go, that this could possibly work as a sport. I'm going through it in my head, and it seems like it will be possible. And I'm imagining myself doing this and I'm the defender, and I can only go for that. I can only grab the ball. I can push the attacker, but I can't grab hold of the attacker. I can only try and grab the ball if I can. And the attacker's trying to stop me grabbing the ball. So it's moving the ball away from me or whatever. And he's trying to spin and whatever, twist. And then he wants to get into the circle and have an opportunity to throw the ball into the net. He's not allowed to jump off the ground, he has to stay on the ground. But he wants to get in the circle and throw the ball into the net. The defender wants to stop the attacker getting into the circle, and he's not allowed to grab the attacker. He can only grab the ball, but he can push the attacker if he wants. So I hope that's clear, and I'm thinking that it could possibly work. It would be great to try this to see if it would work. But when I do it in my head, it seems like it's possible that it would work. And I'm wondering if it will be an interesting sport, an interesting activity that people might want to see. And there'd have to be rules about the size of the attacker and the size of the defender. There have to be maybe roughly equal weight. There can't be any attacks or any punches or kicks or whatever, and you can't grab each other, but you can push each other, and you can grab the ball if you're the attacker. I don't know if we have to have a rule saying you have to have both hands on the ball at all times or anything like that. I'm not sure about that. But going through it in my head, it seems like it would work as a sport. So that's my first thought of inventing a new sport. And what am I going to call it? I think I'll call it grab ball, or yeah, I'll call it grab ball as a new possible sport.